Super fancy. I like it.
Lou,
What's up?
welcome in. It feels weird also here recording. Very strange. You can see both of us. We are in the same room, but it looks like we're not. So there we go.
Yeah, it's cool.
Welcome to the compound. Yeah, you're the first to come in the bedroom as a guest. Welcome, sir.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. So, Lou. Why Lou? I've never talked music with you before.
Yeah, no.
So this feels weird.
Like, where did the name come from? What's the whole project
Well,
about?
okay, so you were Ghostboy.
Yeah, once upon a time.
Okay.
Ghostboy had to die.
Why did Ghostboy have to die?
Well, Ghostboy was something that kind of came about in college and very much more EDM oriented. Big DJ stuff, future bass, like trying to get on that wave when I was like 19 and 20 and didn't really know how to produce very well. And I had bleach blonde hair, very pale person, kind of resembled Ghost a little bit.
Okay.
I was also like horrible, like notoriously horrible responding to anyone.
Okay.
So ghosting, people thought I ghosted them a lot. I will say much better about that nowadays.
There we go.
But yeah, so that was just like an old, younger version of myself. That kind of went until I was, 22?
Okay.
A little bit older now, a little more mature with my music. I just didn't really want to be linked, I guess. Funny part is, though, one of the Ghostboy songs is done better than anything else I've done. So, maybe do a little re-return at some point.
Would you? Really? You would come back as Ghostboy?
Probably not.
Okay.
But,
Okay, so what does Lou... Where did you get Lou?
So Lou was, while I was still Ghostboy, kind of towards the back end when I hadn't released music for over a year. I was kind of in a block, really sick of the music I was making. EDM for me, it wasn't it, not so much it anymore. There's certain things, I love some certain artists, but it was like, oh, I'm going to branch out and I'm going to make lo-fi music. And yeah, I'm not good enough at any instrument to play lo-fi music, but I was with my friend who's like, oh, we could do this together. I was like, okay, cool. What should we, what name should we use? And we were like, I don't know. And so the South African girl who I know sent me a ton of names, and she sent me the incorrect meanings for what each word meant. So I thought Lou meant something completely different from what it is. I was like, that works.
What did you think it meant?
Cool. It was supposed to be read or something like study-ish, but it's not. It's just totally not. I don't even know what it means. It's just kind of a name now.
That's kind of deep in and of itself.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Because then afterwards, when I was like, well, I think I need to switch my name. I can't continue this project. It's been gone for so long. I never was good with social media, anything with it. And so it was thinking of names, and then it's just why not Lou? And this music I make is still have some lo-fi influences, I guess, less so now than before, but yeah, that's how that came about. It's a weird story, and people always ask me, and I'm like, well, yeah.
Okay, so you've taken me through the recent kind of, since I've known you. I've known you for 4 months now. So take me back to young Lou. Why music in general? Why is this the medium you want to use?
So it's interesting. I kind of grew up, I was not come from a musical family. I'm pretty sure no one in my family actually knows how to play an instrument. My mom's surprisingly good at singing though. But my dad was like, you have to play an instrument growing up. So I was 7, and he's like, guitar or piano? And I was like, guitar seems cooler than piano.
Way sicker.
I was like, yeah, it's so much sicker. So I got a guitar, and we're like, all right, you're going to take lessons. So I started taking lessons, and for some reason, this teacher always thought I was practicing, but I just wasn't. And I was progressing. By the time I was middle school, late middle school, decent, solidly decent. Not great, pretty meh. And then I kind of fell out of it in high school. Wasn't really seemed necessary for me because I actually fell in love with film. So I wanted to be a producer, a film producer.
Really?
Possibly a director. So I went to USC Film School.
Well, I know that. Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
For about the first month and a half.
Okay.
And then, so I rushed to fraternity, freshman year right away, and we have a party, and I saw and they have DJs or someone's auxing it, like
Mhm.
music's like pretty cool, but then this guy down the hall from me like comes into my room, he's like, yo, look at my new turntables. And I was like, okay. So I go in there, I'm like, this is sick. Like I didn't know these existed. Like lived in a hole. Like I knew DJs were a thing. I just like kind of lived in a hole. And I was like, can I use these? And so I go ask, like, I'm a pledge at this point. I like go ask whoever it was, like the social people or whatever, like, can I DJ? And they're like, I guess. So like I just took this guy's thing and tried to DJ. Horrible. But like everyone was so drunk. It was like, they're like, you killed it, bro. So I was like, okay. So I just kept DJing and then kept DJing. And eventually I was like, why would I not want to do this? So I picked up Ableton, my little guitar experience, my little music theory, and got to it. And then nowadays I play guitar and I'm about it much better now. And then about to start taking piano lessons. So that's kind of how it came to be.
I didn't know you were going to take piano lessons.
Yeah, next week starting. Like I can get around on the keyboard. Like I can play chords.
Piano's just ruined for me, and you know why.
Yeah, I know exactly why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, very cool. So why did you see? It's like, I've never really like talked. So why did you switch from film to music?
It was so weird. Like film, like I fell in love with film because I'm from Minneapolis. My mom used to work for Target, but she worked in like the more marketing side and did a lot of branding. So she would come out here to work on like Target commercials on like the Universal lot or whatever. And she brought me one time and I was just like kind of sitting on set and I was like, yo, this is fire. Like I've always loved movies. Like, why can I not do this? So that's kind of where film came from. And music just didn't seem feasible in my mind because I wasn't good enough to play in a band. I can't really sing. Didn't really know producing, like just beats on a computer was like a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I never like gave it a thought. My mom told me the other day, she was like, you did tell me in 10th grade, you're like, I could go to school to be a music producer, but I like talked about it for like 4 seconds. And I still think it was like, I was thinking about like the old like vibe of music producers, like where it was more like the producers like overseeing and like, oh, we should add this guitar part. But they're nowadays producers like songwriter, producer, engineer, like they do everything. So
yeah,
that's kind of what I thought it was. And then I harsh reality check when I opened Ableton for the first time and I was like, God, fuck me. Like, yeah.
You self-taught, like fully
Self-taught.
YouTube?
Yeah,
like,
YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube, but my biggest progression has probably come from watching people in person.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing what they do. And starting in EDM is not a bad genre to start in because it's so sound design heavy and it's like a song might have 100 layers. Like just crazy shit. And then I went to hip hop after, and hip hop could have like 10 layers.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the platinum 100 million billion stream songs have like 10 layers in them. So it's like,
what does that mean for the person? Like for me,
so
too.
Like,
what is a layer?
So like 10 stems basically. So it'll be like there's a kick, snare, hi-hat.
Okay.
Kick, snare, hi-hat, 808, maybe a counter melody, a melody, maybe one more melody, like track.
Okay.
Like that's the simplest of hip hop beats. Like there's some that have 1 billion plays. Just for doing that, the producer probably made it in 20 minutes. Whereas an EDM track will have like 20 drum tracks with synth that's doubled up like 6 times with different sounds and like 4 risers and like 3 leads, tons of ear candy. It's just like got overwhelming. It would take me like 2.5 months to even like finish an idea. And I'm way too ADHD to do that. So I was just getting nothing done. So my new music is kind of like a happy medium. It's more than a hip hop beat. It has EDM tendencies, has dance tendencies, but then kind of sits in between the two, which I kind of like.
So you're 2-step.
Yeah. So nowadays I'm doing 2-step garage, drum and bass, but not like that drum and bass that's just like crazy that you're like, you'd probably never listen to it. Just like hard, growly, like crazy sounds. It's more of like a Pink Panther and see like drum and bassy drums, mellow melodies. So that was the remix I just dropped, was very much on that vibe. 2-step, there's going to be some house music. Nothing aggressive though. I'm genuinely go towards very, very chill stuff. Yeah, very chill things, at least melody wise, and then drums I'll hype them up a little bit more. Which is probably why I'm a horrible trap producer. because I just cannot seem to like trap like hip hop. I just cannot seem to make a hype melody to save my life. So yeah, the music I'm doing is it's like fun. It's refreshing. I kind of discovered it a couple of years ago, and I was like, this should be bigger, and it's huge in the UK and Europe's got a big scene. Drum and bass is very European. Australia, no one in America listens to two step and or drum and bass really, except for like Pink Panthers, and I kind of think she's bringing it in a little bit. Skrillex is dropping some stuff like that, so yeah, hopefully, you know.
So spending like 2 minutes into this conversation, I can tell you're really like into this.
Yeah.
You know, how did you go from, hey, Pledge, we need like a DJ to I'm like in it. And you also don't really come off that way typically, you know. How did you become, would you say you're obsessed?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Yeah. Because there's been points where I'm like, cuz to make something in this, it's like you should be like, to make a career doing this, it's like very hard. Like, it's like I would not do this shit if I wasn't like, oh, I got to do it. Like, I would definitely be like, have a good degree.
Yeah.
I have a good job. People want to work at the company I work at. Like, it's a good job. Like, it has me on a good career path. Like, I would be fine in the long run. And I just think to myself, I'm like, well, should I just stop sometimes? Because like I haven't made it by any means. Like the music I'm doing is starting to get a little bit of recognition. Like we get love, we get Spotify love. The editorial playlists are starting to pick up on it. Like you feel the needle moving. But it's still like, come on, like people are getting 100 million streams on shit. Like, so it can be demoralizing, but it's like one of those things. If I wasn't obsessed with it, there's absolutely no point. I could go like easily like have gotten an engineering degree or something and be making like 200K like as a 26-year-old. Like, yeah, like I have to. Very obsessed with it, to say the least. Yeah.
Is it why? Like, what led you to go from this as a hobby or as, you know, a way to party to, oh shit, I want to do this as a career?
Right when I got paid to DJ the first time, I was like, yeah. You're like, yes, please. But the thing about that is I haven't actually DJed in a long time. The last time I DJed like and got paid was just over a year ago, actually, and it was a pretty good chunk of money. So I was pretty happy about that. But it wasn't like me as an artist. It was more of like, hey, we want a chill house set for this like thing. Like, can you come play for 3 hours? And I was like, yeah. Like, I definitely plan on getting back into DJing. It's just, in my opinion, there's DJs who DJ, like very, very good DJs. Their original music isn't great or they don't have any, but they're really good DJs. I think the music needs to be great. And then the DJing can come next, or the playing live. Like, I think my music could be played live at a certain point. Without DJs. Like, I think I actually do it. Like, I think truly, because I play guitar on a lot of the tracks, there's a lot of really natural roads, like keyboards. Like, it could be done, possibly. It would take a lot of practice. But yeah, the first time I got paid to DJ, I was like, what? I just got paid to party. Like, and so, but then I kind of started getting imposter syndrome because I was like, I'm not a great producer. And I was like, I have to go learn. So that's when I really stopped DJing. And I graduated college, so it's like I DJed some of the clubs for a bit around here, and like, but like I don't want to just DJ hip hop and like have girls coming up to me like, oh my god, can you play? You know what I mean? Like when I'm back in it, I like want to play my own music. Like I want to play sets that I curate. So I'm biding my time a little bit. I'd say I'll start going for it again after a couple more releases.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like being a DJ at a frat versus a party or like a bar or club, it's got to be two different vibes. So slightly similar, the annoying drunk girl being like, oh my god, can you play Drake? And then you have, but then there's like an expectation, I feel like, at a club. It's like people are leaving because, you know, 2 tracks in, you know, that could affect your paycheck.
Yeah, and a lot of those, it's like you're playing like hip hop. Like, I don't love DJing hip hop.
You're playing the hits.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You're playing the big songs, what people can dance to, what people can shake their ass to. Like, it's not really my thing. Like, if you hear a set of mine, like, I definitely can go hard, but it's not like I don't play that much hip hop or trap music. I'm going hard in my own way. And so it's like, and hip hop, like, I have a lot of respect for people who DJ because it's not easy to make a good transition. Like some people do it, some people are just horrible at it, and they still do it. But like, it's not easy because with house music, it's like boom, 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 the entire time. So it's easy to switch between those. Like you just match it up and you switch. Hip hop is like changing BPMs. Like I don't even know, man. Like I can do it if I have to. I don't like doing it. That's the yeah.
I just have no clue. So, like for me, it's just so much of this is just I like music. Don't get me wrong, but it's like I can tell what's a bad transition or like a bad DJ set. But yeah, the whole BPM and all the levels to it, it's crazy.
Yeah, like it's. I'll give you like the briefest of so like house music sits at like 120. It's like the default. Like if you opened up any.
So 2 beats a second, basically.
Yeah. So it's 120 beats a second. So it's like
120 beats a second or a minute.
A minute.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 2 beats a second. I've never heard it like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like any disco. Like that's 120 became like the disco thing. So house music will fall between 120, 135.
Okay.
What I'm doing, 2-step, garage, 125, 140 on the upper end. Drum and bass, the other genre I kind of work with is more like a 160 to 180. I
was gonna say higher.
Very
so it's
fast.
Really just like
it's very fast. Yeah, it's like, and it's a very interesting drum sound. Like it's much different, but so switching between 120 to 135 isn't actually that bad because you can just adjust.
Mm-hmm.
Going from a hip hop track that's 100 BPM to like 130 or like that's a huge jump.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to do it creatively. So yeah.
I will say, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
I will say your one song, Portals, it feels the way it plays in a car, the speakers just move differently.
Yeah, it's
cool.
It was a fun one. That's like, it's funny because so I have.
Unreleased, by the way. Yeah.
Yes. Portals is an interesting song. So like that song coming out probably end of next month. Like
Got
it's it. Being the master is being finalized pretty much as we speak, and so I'll send it to AWOL by Friday. And then I give him 6 weeks. But that song is so weird, the progression, because you've heard me talk about Tilly before. Mm-hmm. The girl were my first 5 songs are essentially with her. We just like work really well together. The song I just dropped,
Golden Sands
remix of hers. So I met her through another Australian friend who did a little bit of production on Portals. We were kind of all like, he was like, hey, you want her to come over? I was like, yeah, like more people to work with. And so we started Portals, that beat. Melodies similar, way longer, like 5.5 minutes, drums different. It was like almost my first attempt at a UTK garage song. And like, not horrible, not great. Tilly leaves, Emilio leaves. Tilly comes back in the fall. And we're like, I've sent her more beats at this time. And she was like, okay, I'm going to come over. Like, I want to write to this one. And then she's like, oh, what about that other one? So like we hopped on and I was like, listen to it. I was like, yeah. And so I fixed it and made it just so much more wavy and like so much like it's got that vibe kind of to it now that it had, but now it's just like we elevated it so hard, I think. And I'm excited for people to hear it. It's
a great song, man.
It's interesting. Very interesting. It's got lo-fi feel to it, but it's still got 2-step and like the master. You've heard the other ones. The mastering engineer made the bass hit a lot harder, so you could actually play it in a club now rather than just like in it. I was like, wow, like yeah. So we're excited for that one. We think that's going to be a good one. So
yeah, I mean, hey, from my perspective, just moving out here to LA, from Chicago. Not a lot of people want to be creative. Of course, you're a high school SoundCloud rapper and stuff. And, you know those kids. And I mean, props to them. I know one kid who's like doing well.
Yeah.
What made you want to choose this path? And you still have a 9 to 5.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
So
10 to 7.
A 10 to 7. Everything's 9 to 6 or 10 to 6 out here. It's weird.
One of the industry I work in is like when I 410.
Yeah,
at least
exactly.
The music, and at least in my department, like other departments in my company, never stop working.
Yeah,
the music team is very much like, dude, it's 7 p.m. Like we're going, like no, like we're doing our own thing. Like so
that's chill at least. Yeah, but you do have the typical career right now. What is making you? I'm not trying to get you fired, but what is making you like want to pursue this very rogue lifestyle, rock star lifestyle, basically?
So I disclaimer, if anyone from my job listens to this, I actually do like my job. Like I like what I do. It's very
Liar. He's a fucking liar.
no. It's I do like my job a lot. My team, great. My boss, amazing. It's a pretty small, tight knit group of people, and I work directly in the film industry and doing music in the film industry. So it's kind of like marrying the two. And I work from home, so when there's downtime, I'm doing my own thing. I don't have to be stuck in an office. Like it's awesome. Like it's like an ideal thing to do. There will come a time where I can't do both.
Basically, yeah. Like, what is stopping you? You have a good job, right?
Yeah.
You make a very decent amount for a person our age. Like, what is stopping you from pursuing this very stable career?
Yeah.
And going into my land of being a dickhead, where I crash my car in a $2,000 fucking car payment now, and it's like, I'm sweating. Yeah. You know, versus like, what's taking you down that? Why give up the stable future to pursue this?
Oh, that's a tough one. It's more of the thing is like, would I forgive myself if I didn't go after it 1,000,000%? Probably not. Like, I could go down the path of having this job, like getting married, having a family, being very successful in your own right, like having like nice things, having a good house, like having that life that like a lot of people want. And like, if that's what you want, like sometimes I wish that's what I wanted. It would make my life so much less stressful, like so much less like in my head about things, because I get so in my head about this stuff. I'm like, why? But there comes a certain point where you feel like you have the talent, and if you really, really, really want something and then you work for it, you think it's attainable. And I would be so mad at myself if I didn't give it a go. And I do things calculated. Like, I'm not a very like type of person where I'm just like, oh, fuck it, quit my job tomorrow. Like, I'm going after this. There's a lot.
That's me. That's me, yeah.
But so I'm a little bit, I have insurance to think about. Like, and so like, I'm still like my ADHD meds, like, those will get quite pricey. So it's like me figuring out like, okay, when I'm not working, what's this logistically look like? And for me, I feel like I have a little bit of a buffer now just because, so I have 4 or 5 songs ready to go. I can start releasing those and start feeling it out, like on the other end of things, like what am I going to be doing? How am I going to supplement myself? And I have a little bit. It's not like I have no music done, so I would be like, damn, this job is, I'm working 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day sometimes. And then I'm trying to produce music at night, and it's just like you're burnt, you're not getting anywhere. Like, I have a little bit of a buffer right now, so I'm feeling it out, seeing what it would look like. And there's going to come a time, I'd say, I'll pull the trigger. It's going to happen. Yeah, I don't know the exact time.
Yeah, I mean, there's no rush.
It's going to happen. And it's not going to happen in 2 years or 2.5 years. Like, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Sooner than later, I would hope.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that takes balls. And especially, so many people our age, I don't know how you feel. There are not too many people like us. Not putting me and you in the same shoes either, because you're more successful than I am. But there are not too many people who are just going to like throw it to the wind and just say, fuck it. And is it tough for you? Because it can be tough for me to just see everyone, oh, I work at CAA, work at WME, like, oh yeah, I want to be a producer. Everyone taking that path. Is it tough sometimes? Do you second guess yourself and be like, am I dumb for doing this a little bit, or no?
Yes and no. I mean, it's like I look at people who work at CAA and I'm like, I am not envious of you whatsoever. That's for some people. Like, we have friends who work at CAA. Like, if you like it, if you want to be an agent, that's the best place to work. Like, go for it. I have no interest in that. I always tell myself, like, I'm not going corporate. Like, and like, so an agency work-wise is a good fit for me in that sense, where it's not like this corporate mega conglomerate like thing. Like, the agency I work at's big, but it's not like,
it's chill,
so big that
exactly.
It's like, people,
I see your building.
Yeah. Oh god, they gotta get rid of that.
Yeah,
the lease is up in a couple of years, dude. It's the worst location, right on Hollywood Boulevard. Absolutely not. But yeah, I don't know. Like, there's just a certain part of me that's like, that's not for you. And so what is for me? And what is for me is doing this, or maybe it's something else. I don't know. I feel like it's probably would be this, but like you never know. Like something else could fall in your lap, but it's probably not going to be that. Like I'm a very, very ambitious person, and I'm like, I will do what it takes to make it work. And sometimes I get really in my head about it because I'm working all day and then I'm tired after, and I'm like, I'm not doing it today. Like somebody else is doing it. Like, so I get it. But then when I'm having good music days, I'm like, all right, sweet. Like I can juggle, but it's like, that's kind of what it is in a creative industry though. Kind of yeah, you have good days, you have bad days. And so, yeah, I just think I would never forgive myself if I didn't go for it. And like, I fully intend on like going for it. Like I said, like, cause I did some odd jobs before this when I was Ghostboy, I was like, I'm going for it. Like, no, I wasn't going for it. Like, I'm going like at it.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah. So look out, I guess.
Yeah. Hey,
yeah, right.
There we go.
Got to start building some social media. My worst favorite thing on the planet, but we're going to do it. So
I can relate to you, man. It's like, it's so brutal. Are you planning on getting, because I mean, music, TikTok completely changed everything. First of all, comedy for me and whatever podcast, and then especially music, it's run off of music.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Is that, how much are you thinking about TikTok when you're making a song? Are you at all? And then it's like, all right, am I going to pay Charlie D'Amelio $50,000 to twerk to my song? You know, is it that like line of thinking or?
So, okay, I'm definitely not making music for TikTok.
Okay. What would you do? Something clippable.
Yeah, you got to make a clip. You got to you almost like have to take a song. Actually, you know what? I am working on like a bootleg of a Drake song that could possibly be TikTokable just because it's like a very popular, like just did a spin on it, like a very different spin. So like, you never know. That'll come out in the ether someday, maybe. But no, if I'm making an original for myself, I'm generally not thinking of TikTok. Maybe I should. I don't know. But that being said, we think that there's some songs that are TikTokable. There's bites that would work. And I should have done it for the remix, but I'm stubborn and don't like TikTok, and I didn't. But now, like, after like getting that song out and being like, oh, it did like pretty good, like on its own, I'm like, just stop being such a little bitch, dude, and like do TikTok, like just do it. So that's why I'm giving myself 6 weeks, and I'm gonna do it. I'm actually like forcing myself to do it. There's multiple people I'm making. I'm just like, Alex, you got to do it. So we're gonna try. Like, it blows people up. I've seen people get very big without it, but if you can do it with it, the numbers people are getting are absurd.
Crazy.
It changes their life in like a week.
Oh yeah.
So it's like
one video can change your life.
Exactly. So like, why not go at it? It's just right now. So my next song comes out in 6.5 weeks. Probably I will probably start actually have it on the books. Start filming tomorrow night. Just playing around. Like, I don't have any like, absurd ideas about it, but like play around.
Your roommate will help you.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And roommate and girlfriend both.
Exactly. Yeah. She's social media.
Yeah. Both gonna help
too. Yeah.
Whereas I'm not. So it's going to be, we'll start playing around with it, start filming just random ideas and see what's going to be cool. And then throw stuff at it, throw stuff at TikTok, basically, like see if something hits an algorithm better and then double down on that. So.
Yeah. Is it, it's commonplace. I don't know how well known it is. It's commonplace to pay influencers.
Yeah, for influencers.
Would you do it? Like,
strategically.
Yeah. Also, do you want to go towards the top and do? I don't even really, because I feel like the big time influencers are kind of dead. Like,
I don't think I could afford
Az and Ray doesn't really
either.
do anything anymore. Exactly.
The thing about the old TikTok was like, people weren't getting paid on the old TikTok. They still had a lot of followers. Be like, yo, here's a couple $100. Like, do my thing, and they're like, okay. And now it's like, oh yeah, $75,000, and I'll use your song for 4 seconds. Like, if people don't like it, they're still not going to use that sound. Like, the music has to be good first. And I think it's more of so you can hire an agency to do it for you. I don't know about that one. I'd rather find some influencers who, first of all, like my music, that are on the come up more, that are getting very good engagement and growing. I think they would be cheaper. I think you could create a relationship with them possibly, and like, maybe they use your music more again. Like, I've actually submitted my last song to some people, like those people you ever see on TikTok where they're like these new artists like you haven't heard of yet, like so like just waiting to hear back from some of those. Like you never know. There's like avenues to explore. Thinking about paying some people. That'd probably be the only money. Like I don't have a huge marketing budget. A lot of independent artists don't.
That's fair.
So like we don't have like 10 grand to throw PR and like advertisements. So it's like got to do it strategically.
Yeah. I feel like to TikTok nowadays, it's way less, bump to like savage dance.
Yeah.
It's way more. It's honestly a really cool app. The way that it's turned into just such a meritocracy where anyone can go viral for the stupidest thing and it doesn't have to make sense, but it kind of does.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just like connecting. I feel like the songs that do well are connecting to an idea or a concept even.
Yeah.
You got to have it. It has to be trendable.
Exactly. You have to be able to like take something with that sound and then a lot of people use that sound for the same reason. And it's, you got to make a trend from it, which is like, I don't see like when I listen to my music, like I'm not listening like, oh, trend. Like that's why you have people who are like, like I said, 2 people very close to me who are very good at this.
Very social media minded.
Very social media minded. So they're definitely going to help out a lot. I would hope they will. They will. It's just more me being stubborn and like, yeah, I'm going to film. Like, nope, not doing it. Like once I do it like a few times, I'll be totally good. It's just like, I get in my head about it.
I mean, even these clips, like, even though they're much more bare bones, I'm going for a different audience, really. Yeah. It's still just like, oh, God, I'm putting this out there. Like, my family follows this.
Oh,
so,
sure, yeah.
I mean, it's just brutal.
It's always funny. My grandma's like, send me your newest song. I'm like, she probably thinks I'm such a joke. Like, she's like, what is this kid doing? Like,
I mean, my grandma, I make the comments all the time. My grandma listens to these where I talk about, fucking wanting to kill myself instead of getting a job. She's like, oh, I can see you're still trying to figure out your future. Like, that's a good way of putting it.